Hello guys, again in another video of mine. In this video I will show to you one great blade which is made from red dragon, and it's made for reenactment and HIMA. Here I want to point out that the sword falls under category of a bastard sword, which means it's not long enough for a long sword and it's not short enough for an arming sword. Actually, this is the transition from arming sword to a long sword. Before we start, if you like the content of my YouTube channel, I'll be more than happy and grateful if you subscribe to my channel. Now, let's begin. First of all, why I got that sword? It's very simple. For the price I got it, the sword have a historical scabbard, and the sword itself is historical, and it's very beautiful. Keep in mind that for the price I got that sword, you get also a scabbard with the real letter and the historical belt. When the sword arrived, the blade was chipped and damaged. The hilt was wobbling around a lot. So I asked to return the sword to send me another one, but I had trouble with returning the sword. So I asked them to refund me so I can make the repairs on the sword. So I sent the sword to a friend. He had fixed my cutting edge, smoothed the trace of usage, filled the hilt so it doesn't wobbling around so much. And for now, the crossguard, the hilt and the pommel doesn't move at all. I dare to say that I have no regards for buying that sword, because I really like that sword, especially the scabbard. The blade is type 12A, and the earliest example of the long sword in the 13th century. As we said, this is the sword between arming sword and a long sword, a bastard sword. The fuller runs through entire length of the blade, almost to the tip, and the tip is extremely rounded. The cutting edge is about 2 mm, which is standard for training and reenactment. In the website which I got that sword, it says in the description the sword is for HIMA, but the sword is made after an historical item, so I shall use it for reenactment as well. Actually, I will use it only for reenactment and not for HIMA. I have other blades, other swords for HIMA. The reason I will not use it for HIMA is that the blade is very stiff. At the beginning of the blade, next to the crossguard, we see a red dragon marking, which is extremely historical, because this is the way different masters in medieval ages, even in Renaissance, market their products so other people know from where that product comes from. We're moving to the hilt. We begin with the crossguard. The crossguard is simple as possible, and the handle is covered with brown real leather divided into 2 parts by 3 raisins. The pommel is type wheel pommel, which is beautiful, not too beautiful but not too simple. The sword is not heavy, but is poorly balanced. The weight is in the blade, which makes him blade heavy. In my humble opinion, if they had made it with massive crossguard and with the bigger pommel, the balance will be better, much better. Here I will share with you my disappointment of the sword, that the sword went through some repair. When we open the handle so we can fix it, we found that the sword is not riveted, but it's threaded. This is probably the only thing that I was disappointed, and only thing that was different in the description of the website. However, the blade, the tongue, and the tail of the tongue are from one piece of steel. That's why I hope it won't be such a big problem. I plan to use it for reenactment, not for HIMA. That's why I will fight in a light fights and duels, so I think it will hold up. Now, we will talk about the scabbard. The scabbard is simply beyond amazing. I have told you that if you get some sword from the websites, from any website, it's not expensive and it comes with the scabbard. Even if the scabbard is made only from leather, you're lucky because you have somewhere to keep your sword from the element. However, this scabbard is worth half as much as the sword. It's covered with real brown leather. At the end of the scabbard we have a metal end. To protect the scabbard itself, we have a rain guard, which protects the scabbard and the sword. Thanks to that rain guard, the rain will not go into the scabbard and will protect your sword. We have here a 3mm stick belt, which is extremely historical. We have a print of a different shapes, and at the belt itself we have a dragon. So remember that the sword is from the red dragon. As a conclusion, the sword is great, historical. When we leave aside that the sword came with the damaged blade and I had to fix it, and if we leave aside that the sword is not riveted, the sword itself is more than great. For the price, the sword is amazing. Not perfect, but great. That was for now, guys. I hope you liked the video. Thank you if you watched the entire video. If you're new visiting my channel, please subscribe. I will be more than grateful. And if you want to comment the video, feel free to do so. Have a nice day, guys, and see you soon.